Hey folks, Dr. Kyle here, your resident physical therapist, board certified, doctor of physical therapy, traditionally, formally with the Dynasty Warzone, but I think I'm being pimped out a little bit this year. Hopefully this will get on the Kyle and Jake's Dynasty Smackdown, and maybe you'll be listening to this on the GOAT District with JD and Dan. So I'm going to try and do a better job this year with some injury wrap after each week. Maybe talk about pickups. Maybe talk about prognosis. There's so much information out there these days on Twitter. Hopefully you're getting it streamlined through the podcast you're already listening to. It's always better when you don't have to listen to as many things or look at or follow as many people. That's the beauty of getting this in a few spots. I'm going to be quick. I think we have some real obvious ones this week, and we'll try and talk about the obvious ones from week to week. The fantasy football relevant ones, and maybe I'll put a little bit of twist on this with some stuff that isn't necessarily directly fantasy related. We'll talk some non-skill position players today, just things to think about. But again, going to keep it quick, succinct. Get in, get out, bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. So we had one notable quarterback injury this week. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I believe, dislocated his hip. Not as severe as Tua, thank the Lord, because at his age, he would probably not come back from that. But it does sound like he's going to miss some time. The worry there is that there was probably some subsequent damage to, either the labrum or the joint capsule or some of those, smaller muscles, ligaments around the hip. And at his age, he's probably not getting over that as quickly as I don't want to say myself because I'm approaching Ryan Fitzpatrick's age. I'll never catch him technically. I'll always be this exact amount of time away from him, but I feel like I'm getting closer to him. God damn, how's that guy still playing professional football, taking hits with the energy he does? Anyway, so Fitzpatrick went down, and our, sort of playoff hero, Taylor Heineke, came in, and he didn't get the W for the WFT, but he was serviceable. I think he's a must-add in Superflex. This is an injury that's going to have Fitzpatrick out for weeks. And if Heineke performs well enough, I could see him having this one until the end. We also have to speculate that they could bring somebody in. Cam Newton's still a free agent. It sounds like the 49ers are trying to just showcase Jimmy G while getting Trey Lance some reps, possibly. So, there could be trades on the horizon. Nick Foles is still sitting on the bench, and maybe he's looking to come off it in relief and do that thing again. Let's move on to running backs because that was the only quarterback one. Running backs, never a heartbroken, but always a heartbroken. Raheem Mostert, unfortunately, man, that was the juiciest play for a running back all week, I think, and we saw that because the 49ers still managed to do it without Mostert. But yes, Mostert left this game with a knee injury. It sounds like I don't know how they described it in the news, but it's meniscus, and it's more serious than an arthroscopy or a meniscectomy. This is not like your 2 to 4 week one. It sounds like he's going to miss at least 8, potentially season ending, if you ask me, if that's the case. But we saw what that 49ers backfield can do. So whoever is on the 49ers, whoever's in the 49ers backfield that you can get on your waivers in Dynasty or Redraft, get them. Mitchell, Hasty, Jeff Wilson, Sermon. I doubt Sermon's there. Who knows about the other 3, but you're paying up, and then it's going to be a little bit of San Francisco backfield roulette probably the rest of the season. One thing to keep in mind with Mitchell is I do think that Shanahan talked about him in a very positive light, going into or at least shortly thereafter the draft, and there was talk in training camp about how well he did, enough so where they were able to let Gallman walk. So Mitchell is probably the top ad there. Who knows what's going to go on with Sermon? He was, I believe, a healthy scratch. But yeah, get him while you can. These are lottery tickets, guys. To be able to. Yeah, how often do we leave redraft? We'll talk. How often do we leave a draft and go, oh, there was nobody left worth drafting, and our teams all look great, and here we are after week 1, and there's potentially a league winner right there waiting for you. So. Talking with one of my buddies earlier about how we're spending fab this year in Dynasty, I think you got to pay up for one of these guys. And then another usual suspect that I don't think really has any fantasy implications is Rashad Penny. He went down with a calf injury in Seattle. unfortunate for him. He was so highly touted, first-round pick, I believe, 4 years ago, and he just can't seem to stay healthy. Rashad, if you're ever in New York City, find me. We'll help you. But otherwise, at least you're getting paid. But anyway, yeah, Carson saw the lion's share of work there. I forget who else is deep in that backfield. I think they added somebody this offseason. Yeah, it's worth poking around on the waiver wire. I wouldn't pay up for anybody. It's Carson's backfield to lose at this point, so fingers crossed that he does not get injured. Moving on to receivers. Biggest injury for the wide receivers this week, I believe, is Jerry Judy. I didn't see this one. I heard some chatter in one of my Dynasty group chats that it looked pretty ugly. And I think it looked ugly because Jerry Judy's knees just generally, I'll just use the word unnatural because as a physical therapist, everybody's knees and bodies look and move a little bit differently. I would say as far as the NFL goes, Jerry Judy, relative to the rest of the knees, especially a wide receiver, looks the most unnatural. And I think that's why it looked so ugly, was because his knees have that tendency, like when he runs and makes cuts, what his knees do is what it looks like when most people's knees get injured. So luckily he came away with it with, bunny ears only, high ankle sprain. The word at this point is 4 to 6 weeks. So I think that's a pretty good scenario considering how much discomfort he was in. We'll see. That looked like there was a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. Cortland Sutton didn't see much. Judy was having an all right day, but with him out, I think I would expect maybe Fant to see some more targets in that, not so far downfield, because I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is still throwing downfield, probably why Sutton wasn't very involved. But I think KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick are speculative adds. The word out of practice today from Fangio is that Hamler took a lot of the first-team reps in Judy's place, so he's your priority add this week. Other wide receiver injury, Tyrell Williams is in the concussion protocol. That's typical. If injured on Sunday, there's a chance he plays this following Sunday. But look for any setbacks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe, saw a very, very high percentage of snaps for the as far as looking at all of the rookie wide receivers and their debuts. His was very, very high, so he's probably the guy you're looking to add, especially in Dynasty at this point. And then as our honorable mentions go, I don't know if honorable mention is the right category here. But if somebody wants to slide into my DMs or share with the guys at the Dynasty Warzone or the GOAT District some advice for me or some ideas, the honorable mention will be the non-skill players and some significant ones. Jeff Okudah, the 3rd overall pick 2 years ago for the Lions, cornerback, torn Achilles. That it sounded like he was having a good camp. I guess there was some video of him being chewed out by his coach right before it happened. I don't know what that has to do with the injury. Maybe something, maybe nothing. Probably just unfortunate for him and the coach that's what happened. This was already a not strong defense. They are down one kneecap biter. Speaking of kneecaps, this guy had issues with his, even though he wasn't playing the Lions. Mekhi Becton, left tackle for the Jets, who looked like he had a pretty solid season last year. But it sounds like and looked like when I watched that the Jets' offensive line struggled yesterday. Unfortunate for Zach Wilson, who was happy to hang in there, but I don't think he can handle that all season long. Reminds me a little bit of Joe Burrow last year. Not trying to predict the future, obviously, but they're going to have to adjust. I trust that coaching staff, I think. But Mekhi Becton dislocated his kneecap, and so it sounds like he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. Lamarcus Joyner, safety for the New Orleans Saints. We'll stick in New Orleans for a little bit. Lamarcus Joyner, all I could find was that elbow tendon. So I'm thinking either biceps or triceps tendon that was torn and repaired. He will be out for the season, so that's going to hurt them on defense. Also, what's going to hurt them on defense is Marcus Davenport, defensive end. Right now, it just says quote unquote a few weeks he'll miss. A pec tear for a guy who's a pass rusher and is going to rely on that strength and mobility in his shoulders to get around tackles and guards. I would lean more than a week or two if it's a few weeks, but keep an eye on this one. But the Saints somehow managed to wipe the floor with the Packers. So this probably stings a little bit. I don't think they have the deepest or youngest of defenses. So something to consider with your matchups moving forward. And then, sorry. Lamarcus Joyner is Jets safety. Moving to Marshon Lattimore, he's the Saints secondary guy. He had a thip in his chum, a chip on his thumb that was repaired, and he's going to be week to week. So the Saints will be down Davenport and Lattimore. The Jets are now Sans, Lamarcus Joyner, and Mekhi Becton. I hope this finds you guys well. I hope this is helpful. Again, this is my first time doing one of these, so feel free to comment on YouTube, wherever this else ends up, because I'm fairly new to StreamYard. So hopefully at least I think 3 people have seen it already, and they're not throwing stuff at their computers or phones or slamming them off the ground. But, I'm open to feedback. Feel free to rate and review all of the pods this may or may end up on. Maybe it'll just end up on YouTube. Maybe Memphis will look at it and be like, what the hell was Kyle thinking doing this outside? But it's beautiful here in New York City, so I'm trying to make the best of it. My little balcony here. Maybe we'll give a little. Can we get the Freedom Tower back there? Maybe a little too cloudy downtown. But anyway, yeah, here we are in Hell's Kitchen Midtown. But yes, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Hopefully this makes it to the GOAT districts with Dan and JD. And again, redirect any comments from them to me. Again, you can find me on Twitter at DWZ_Dr. PT.